Welcome to Elaine Clark VO Real Talking Tips, where it's all about communication. I'm the author of There's Money Where Your Mouth Is, a complete insider's guide to earning income and building a career in voiceovers, and voiceovers for podcasting, how to develop a career and make a profit. I'm also the creator of 2 Elaine Clark apps, Activate Your Voice, 5-minute exercises to strengthen your speaking voice, and Adding Melody to Your Voice, speech improvement instruction and workout. This first series of micro-learning lessons is 52 weeks, so subscribe and tune in each week to Real Talking Tips for a new communication lesson. Episode 14. Verbs have action, right? What is the definition of a verb? To quote Merriam-Webster, a word that characteristically is the grammatical center of a predicate and expresses an act, occurrence, or mode of being that in various languages is inflected for agreement with subject, for tense, for voice, for mood, or for aspect, and that typically has rather full descriptive meaning and characterizing quality, but is sometimes nearly devoid of these, especially when used as an auxiliary or linking verb. But wait, there's more. To use a word, and especially a noun, as a verb. To make a word into a verb. Hang in with me as I drill down the page a bit more. Let's drill a verb. My friendly word advisor Merriam-Webster adds additional clarification. Verbs are words that show action, sing, occurrence, develop, or state of being, exist. Almost every sentence requires a verb. Bingo! But wait, there's more from this trusty Merriam-Webster.com dictionary definition. The basic form of a verb is known as its infinitive. The forms call, love, break, and go are all infinitives. Almost all verbs have 2 other important forms called principles. Principles are forms that are used to create several verb tenses, forms that are used to show when an action happened. They can also be used as adjectives. Holy cow. This final sentence must put it all into perspective. The 2 main kinds of verbs, transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Well, that helped a lot. Let's drill down and find a simpler way to effectively use verbs in speech. Let's practice how to add action to active and non-active verbs. Okay, I'm going to simplify it. Verbs equal action. That means when you say a verb, you need to have some sort of body movement that corresponds to the action. That movement will be heard in the voice, whether big or small, depending on the type of verb. Okay, verb geeks. I know what you're thinking. There are action verbs and static non-action verbs. Why should they all have action? Action verbs are obviously bigger. They include, but are not limited to, these examples. Arrange, brush, climb, drink, eat, fight, give, hide, invite, jump, knock, lift, move, negotiate, open, present, question, reach, smile, tackle, uncover, vacate, walk, yawn, zone out. Non-action verbs are subtler. They may be a head nod, shoulder shrug, eye movement, or an internal response. Examples like this include agree, believe, contain, doubt, envy, forget, guess, have, imagine, jeopardize, know, like, matter, notice, own, prefer, remember, see, think, understand, value, want. Verbs are easy to comprehend, way easier than the dictionary definition and pronunciation of difficult nouns like certain cities, medical or business technology, or even some people's names. The verbs tie the nouns together with either a big or subtle action. The way to sound authoritative is to give action to the verbs. By giving verbs movement, you sound like you know what you were talking about. What do verbs have to do with you and your communication skills? Let's practice a moment with the following short sentences. For simplicity, I placed the verb in the middle of the sentence with a noun on either side so you can hear the change from the static location of the noun to the active movement of the verb, and the static location of the noun at the end of the sentence. Here we go. Feel free to practice along with me. In 1839, Henry Fox Talbot created the first glass negative. I made a tiny circle with my finger when I said created. Eastman made many photographic improvements over the next 20 years. I smiled on the word improvements. Now you can captivate your audience. My hand moved in a slight arc on the word captivate. It's important to complete the course before using the product. I nodded and gestured in a straight line on the word complete. This whole new product will change the way you do business. I wiggled my hand on the word change. You must climb the mountain to get to the top. I raised my hand up on the word climbed. I'll drive you to work. My hand moved forward on the word drive. What do you say I beat you in chess one more time? I flicked my finger on the word beat. Let's walk to the meeting. My finger wiggled forward on the word walk. I understand what you're saying. I nodded in agreement on the word understand. If your message is about taking action, you need to add action to your message. Practice these lines in front of a mirror and watch where your movements come from. Do you need to use your hands to gesture, shoulders to shrug, eyes to look, head to nod in agreement, or some other physical movement? If you're not already doing so, start honoring the verbs and give them movement. Communication is about having the audience feel and take action. Verbs are an important element in effective communication. We'll explore these and other specific movements later in this series. Thanks for joining me on the Real Talking Tips podcast. To find out more, check out my books and apps and visit my website, ElaineClarkVO.com. Let's stay in touch. Become part of the Real Talking Tips community. Hit the subscribe button and use #RealTalkingTips, #ElaineClarkVO. You can also follow me on Twitter @ElaineClarkVO, Instagram ElaineClark.VO, and Facebook Elaine Clark Apps and Books. And don't forget to practice. It's all about communication. Go ahead, click the subscribe button.